From the Alex Trebek stage at Sony Picture Studios, this is Inside Jeopardy!
Oh, yes. Well, there it is. Well, there it is for you, I should say. Because in the podcast studio,
yes,
we don't today, most days, we get to listen to the music, so I don't have to fake enthusiasm for Johnny's axe playing. Today, I was ordered actually by producer Alexa to fake as much enthusiasm as I could for Johnny Guitar on the axe, but I felt it was more important to be authentic on the podcast, so I'm being authentic.
We don't lie to the people.
We're not hearing it, but I'm sure, I hope everybody out there enjoyed Johnny on the Axe opening the podcast. Welcome again to Inside Jeopardy, your exclusive and official podcast destination for all things happening in the world of Jeopardy. I'm Michael Davies, here today with my sidekick, producer Sarah Foss.
My buddy, my sidekick. Michael, July 15th already. Can you believe it? And just one more podcast for this, what has been a long season. We're going to have one more podcast.
Yep.
Next week, and then we're going to take a little break.
And this is it. My last podcast is what you're saying.
Of this season. Yes,
okay.
We cannot do it without you, my friend.
I know. I've retired from several podcasts this year already. I can't retire from another one.
Not your best one.
Yeah.
We're also 1 week away from the launch of the official commemorative Alex Trebek stamp. So
very excited about that.
In 1 week, you can get them at your post office. We know you'll be visiting your post office.
Oh, I visited my post office in Bridgehampton, New York, on the regs almost daily, in order to get as much credibility as I possibly can from
this event. Is the
event.
countdown on there? Do
they
know?
It is. Very, very excited about it.
All right. Well, maybe you can increase the numbers there in Bridgehampton. Again, we want this stamp to be sold out in record time. The goal is Charles Schultz. We can do it.
Wonderful.
We can do it.
Pop Culture Jeopardy, we should say, more than 50,000 applications so far. More than applications, people have actually taken the test so far. They've managed to cajole friends or college roommates or co-workers.
Maybe even not friends, just people who they think might, increase their odds of winning on their team.
And have applied for the program. Amazing contestants, several notable Jeopardy alums.
Oh, yes.
We should say several celebrities have applied.
We won't say who, but they're out there. They're in the pool.
And we don't know whether they're going to get onto the program.
We do not.
Either. So we're now working with our partners at Amazon and deciding who's going to make it into those 27 epic first-round matchups.
Yeah, it's going to be good. If you haven't done so already, you can take the Anytime test at Jeopardy.com. Just get your two smartest buddies, form a team of 3, take the test, and you could be part of Pop Culture Jeopardy. It's going to be great. And I think to have said you're part of season 1 is going to go down in the record books.
Yeah. I mean, many people, when we talk about this idea, say, oh, at last a version of Jeopardy that I can actually play, I can compete in. Having said that, this is going to be on-brand Jeopardy hard.
Yes.
In fact, the percentage of, we don't really have a passing score, but the percentage of scores over a certain number that we're seeing on the Jeopardy pop culture test is exactly the same percentage as we see on regular Jeopardy, on that test as well. So it is not going to be a cakewalk for anybody to get onto the show, and the level of these teams who are going to be there. It's not just like individuals competing against individuals. You don't just have to beat 2 people. You have to beat 6 other people on other teams. You've got 2 teammates to help you do that.
Yeah.
But the the competition on the buzzer, the competition deep in the categories to know the answer. We've done some run-throughs. We did one actually earlier this week. It's pretty intense with that many people competing on the stage.
Well, and you think pop culture is more of a specific area, but it's that ability to recall quickly from a number of different areas within the pop culture sphere. So it really is testing knowledge in a new way. It's going to be great. I'm so excited for it. And like I said, if you haven't applied already, get your team and get in now. Someone who, he might want to be on Pop Culture Jeopardy, our current champ, Isaac Hirsch, who ended the week as an 8-game champion. I had the chance to catch up with him after he secured that official TOC spot. He was feeling good, so we will share that conversation a little later in the pod. But first, as always, let's take a look back at this week in Jeopardy history.
Jason, over to you now. 25,600, most impressive. Your final response also, that is correct. It is the state of Arizona. and you risked only $1,000, so you become the champ with $26,600, and you get to come back next week to play in the final week of our regular season games. We hope to see you on Monday. Join us then, won't you? So long, everybody.
That's right. It was July 19th, 2019, when we first witnessed Jason Zafraneri competing on the Alex Trebek stage. He won that game in a runaway, and of course, he went on to become a 19-game Jeopardy super champion over 2 seasons, because he ended one season and then came back as the returning champ. He then returned for the 2021 Tournament of Champions, brought down by Jennifer Quayle in the semis. He came back this year for JIT, defeated by Larissa Kelly. So despite not having as much recent success on the Alex Trebek stage, though, Jason continues to hold the 8th spot on our leaderboard of legends, tied with David Madden for consecutive games won, and the 7th spot for highest winnings in regular season play. Pretty impressive. All right, Michael, let's get into the highlights. On Monday, Isaac Hirsch returned for his 4th win and absolutely dominated. 30 correct responses. He ends Double Jeopardy with $27,400 and a runaway.
Yeah, amazing. 18 correct responses for him in the Jeopardy round alone. That ties the season high for most correct responses in a single round.
Yeah, very, very impressive. In the post-game, Stephanie joked that, she thought Isaac was taking it easy on them with the buzzer during the rehearsals and that it didn't feel that it was that uneven. And then Isaac explained that it's very different in rehearsal and that he can't quite figure out his timing. He said, "I swear, I'm not sandbagging in rehearsal. I'm just not getting in." And a lot of our champions say that, and we often during rehearsal, you'll kind of size up, oh, what's today's competition going to be like? You think you have someone who's clearly going to come in and kill it. And, when they get up there with 2 other champions or 2 other contestants, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, or sometimes they can't get in at all during rehearsal, and then
yes,
they get up there during the game and they're fantastic. They get on a roll.
We see it all on Jeopardy. This game also featured Scarlett Johansson doing a category about other Moon movies. She has Fly Me to the Moon with Channing Tatum that came out last Friday.
Looking forward to seeing that.
Such a delight to work with her. She made time for us. She's a producer on that movie. So in between cutting the film, she was like coming into another room to do this category with us, and just a lovely, lovely person to work with.
And I remember you telling me when you came back from the shoot how well she read the clues, which isn't, or it's often something you have to work with our celebrity or notable clue readers to read the clues. She got it instantly, was very, very good clue reader. And I think what that comes down to is she is a very big fan of the show. She and her husband, Colin Jost, are big Jeopardy heads. They love the program and love watching it together, and you could really tell that in the way that she read it.
Yes, absolutely.
And some of the comments, I read the comments
the
comments were very, very kind, saying, "Wow, this is one of the best readers of clues that we've ever seen on Jeopardy." It was very good. Okay, Isaac returned on Tuesday, and after an evenly matched Jeopardy round, he really turned it on in Double Jeopardy. With the help of a $4,000 daily double, he took a strong lead into final, where he was the only player to come up with the correct response, solidifying his spot in the Tournament of Champions.
Oh, he is now our 6th official qualifier. Lisa Ann Walter, Adriana Harmeyer, Drew Basile, Allison Betts, and Amy Hummel. It's stacking up to be a pretty good competition.
Yep.
In the post-game, Ken said to Isaac, "Okay, you're now a bona fide Tournament of Champions contender," and Isaac joked, "I don't know if I'd describe myself as a contender, but I will be there." And then Ken asked about how he feels. He's going to go up against people like Lisa Ann Walter, and Isaac joked, "It's hard to say, but I will definitely be starstruck. I did comedy for a period of time, and she is far more successful than I am at comedy, but Jeopardy, who knows?" Another funny thing about Isaac is that, he didn't really reveal that he was a comedian until later in his run, but he said he's not that good. And so, when you tell someone you're a comedian, then they expect you to be funny. So he didn't really want to talk about the fact that he is a comedian. But I did catch up with him right after this big win. Let's take a listen.
Isaac Hirsch, 5-game champion, headed to the Tournament of Champions. How does it feel?
I think I've used the word surreal like probably 20 times in the past couple hours. It is surreal. It is very surreal. The goal coming in was to win 1 or 2 games, not embarrass myself. So this was surprising and welcome, and I love it. But yeah, I'm still just sort of hasn't really set in yet.
Well, I would say this is a victory years in the making for your family. Obviously, your dad, a contestant back in the 80s. What does he think of all this?
He doesn't know. I called him after win number 3, and I was like, do you want to know how it went? He said, no. I said, okay, well, I was going to invite them to fly to California to like watch the next taping.
Yes.
And I can't do that now because that would reveal how I did. So this is still completely
goodness.
a mystery to them.
Does he know you won one game?
No.
Oh my goodness.
He has no idea.
No idea.
None.
This is so exciting.
I know. So I love messing with him where I'm just like, look, it's July 3rd. Watch it. You know, you can have a party if you want. But
Oh my goodness.
I'm trying to play up that it's uncertain what happened.
I love this. Now, what did he think when you just said, I'm going to go be a contestant? Did he have any advice? Was he like, go avenge for the family? Like, what were his words of wisdom?
He was just like, have fun. Like he just said, just have fun. If you lose, it's not that big a deal. That's from experience, I guess. So yeah, they were very excited for me. This is, again, it's a long time in the making. I watched Jeopardy as a kid. Jeopardy has always been the goal in like all my trivia pursuits. So yeah, this has been just a wonderful experience.
And what has your journey to Jeopardy been like? Have you been trying for some time to get on? Is this a recent endeavor?
Well, I auditioned for Adult Jeopardy when I was in college, which was a very silly move on my. I could have done College Jeopardy.
Yeah,
I have no
what
idea
were you
why.
thinking?
I was like, but you can win forever on Adult
Yes,
Jeopardy, which
yes.
is like not a good financial decision. Although it worked this time, but it would not
Yes.
have worked for me in college. I would not
Okay.
have won more than like one game in college, probably.
Okay.
But
You've been learning since then.
yes, and that was the last time I did an in-person audition until the most recent one, which I did in like 2022. So
Wow. Why were you waiting all this time?
I did the online test here and there. I just
Okay.
maybe didn't pass it, or who knows.
Yeah. Well, this is good advice because we always tell people, if at first you don't succeed, try again. Here you are, headed to the Tournament of Champions. What do you think about your competitors so far?
They all seem really good. You watch people on TV go on big streaks, and you're like, well, I could never do that. And somehow I've done it. So, maybe they're just like me, and they're also like, I can't believe it.
It's true. That is what many of them say. So, you're speaking now like a Jeopardy champion.
Yeah, I guess we're all comparing ourselves to like James Holzhauer, when the reality is we're all just mostly regular
Yes.
people, and then there's a few James Holzhauers out there.
One thing I think when I watch you is you're just a likable champion. I think people are rooting for you just because you seem like a nice guy.
Well, I'm trying to have fun with it and not take it too seriously because I think you can get in your own head a lot. And so I'm just trying to basically be like just a loose quiz-playing automaton up here. And, if I mess up, which I have, and I've said lots of silly wrong answers, so what? It just comes with the territory.
What's been the best part of this experience so far?
I mean, it's everything I could have dreamed it would be. But having my girlfriend here for all of it has been just so great. It's just, I just keep making eye contact with her, being like, what the heck?
What's happening?
Yeah, but that's been the nice part, is that like I get to actually share it with somebody instead of just like keeping this to myself the entire time. That's been really wonderful.
Well, it's been incredible to watch so far. Good luck as your run continues, and congratulations on making the Tournament of Champions.
Thank you so much. I'm excited for it.
Amazing. And he hasn't even told his dad. I love
know,
that.
I know. The dad does not even know that all these years later, there is a Hirsch Jeopardy champion and one who's headed to the TOC.
Well, he must know by now, having watched it
Well,
in
yes, now I
the
think
time.
the
I
secret is
suppose now,
out, yes.
yeah, I would say one imagines.
A few people might have, keyed him into that happening. Well, moving on to Wednesday's game, Isaac going up against challengers Alex Pribble and Larry P. Wellington. It was a strong Jeopardy round for Isaac, but both Alex and Larry fought hard in Double Jeopardy to stay in contention heading into final. All three players were correct, but it was Isaac who notched another win. This was a great game. Let's hear how the players were feeling after it.
These games have been getting a little closer, Isaac.
I don't like it.
Alex, you found both the daily doubles in the second round.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to.
Well, Isaac didn't look super happy about it, but honestly, keeping them out of Larry's hands did Isaac a great service there. So
Oh, sorry, Larry.
Hey, it happens.
that was an interesting moment. Isaac had almost gotten control back, but it said Paradiso instead of Paradiso.
Yeah.
And that robbed you of that daily double. But let's
I wouldn't have gotten the daily
under
double.
oath. Yeah, I was going to ask you.
I wouldn't have gotten it right, I don't think. I mean,
wow.
you never know what you're going to say, but I don't think I would have come up with that. So you know what? I'm glad I added an I to Paradiso. That's fine with me.
That's your new favorite novel. You're going to borrow a book from Larry and name all your kids after misspelled Dante works, right?
Yes, I can't wait to have my kid Infernio.
That was a great game. You two were very good with the old cars. I was impressed by the Peugeot buzz because I didn't think anybody was going to try for that, Larry.
It was up there. I managed to pull it out at the last second. So.
There's a bunch of French automakers. You were sure it was Peugeot? You weren't tempted?
Pretty confident.
Oh, well done.
Because that's the only one I know.
That does make it easier. And then nobody else knew macular degeneration, Alex, but...
They air commercials all the time during Jeopardy.
Well, I never see them, but
It's fair.
I guess that could be the problem.
There you go.
But Larry, you gave a very tough champ a real run for his money, so congratulations on playing well, both of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you're going for Lucky 7 tomorrow, Isaac. Is the fatigue setting in? How does this work?
Yeah, it's definitely a marathon, not a sprint, doing all these Jeopardies. Yeah, I'm slowing down a little bit, so we're going to have some caffeine after this game, and we'll see how we feel.
We'll see how a caffeinated Isaac plays in Game 7. Congratulations to you. Good game, everybody.
Larry P. Wellington. That's an all-time Jeopardy great name.
Love a middle initial.
Yeah, Ken joked we rarely get middle initials on Jeopardy, and this is exciting. Okay, on Thursday, Isaac continued his strong gameplay, where despite not finding either of the daily doubles in Double Jeopardy, he was able to cruise into a runaway win, becoming only the third player in Season 40 to reach 7 wins after Adriana Harmeyer and Drew Basile.
And in the post-game, Liz from this game, she joked that, she's now going to be rooting for Isaac to break Ken's record. And Ken said, Isaac, what do you think? You have just 68 more to go. And Isaac joked, I don't know if I have enough PTO, to which Ken responded, let me tell you a little secret about winning 70-plus games on Jeopardy. You no longer need PTO or the job.
That's so good. That's so good.
Well, on Friday, we closed out the week with a great game between Isaac and challenger Mike Ferguson. After a strong Jeopardy round from both players, Isaac was dominating Double Jeopardy until Mike responded correctly to a huge $6,000 daily double, helping him stay in contention at the end of the round. Both Isaac and Mike were able to come up with the correct response in final, but it's Isaac who heads into the weekend as an 8-game Jeopardy champion.
Yeah, and this was his biggest payday so far,
Yeah.
34,001. That's not bad.
Ken caught up with Isaac one last time before the weekend. Take a listen.
Mike, that was a fantastic game.
Oh, thank you.
You made that big wager on the daily double when you needed it. Did you know it right away? Sometimes those word ones are tough. Objective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not right away. Took a moment.
Well, you must have been relieved when it came to you.
Yes, very.
You came up with your final Jeopardy response after a pretty long pause.
I debated between Sabin and Salk for a while because it was
Right,
like
there's two
timeline-wise,
polio guys.
which one makes more sense? And first I thought of Salk, and then I thought of Sabin, and I had multiple times in this game went with my second guess and been wrong every single time. So I was like, screw it, we're going with the first guess, and thankfully that was right.
You've talked about the little voice that tells you when to buzz, but sometimes there's two little voies.
Yes.
One saying Salk and one saying Sabin.
And then I guess I'm going to go with the first voice from now on. Second voice is wrong, generally, it seems like.
That is often what happens, I find. Like, if you find you've been too conservative and a few clues go by that you knew, then you become a little more reckless and vice versa. Yeah. But Mike, congratulations on a great game and really putting the champ to the test. You really showed your stuff. And we do have a second chance tournament now for players who are unfortunate to come up against a long-running champ like this one. So
I would love it if I had the chance.
you may be back. I don't know. Like, of all the players today, only you have made a dog throw up and saved its life. unless Isaac and Ashley have a story they would like to tell.
Maybe the first part, but not the second part.
You're now up to 8 wins. You're getting close to 200K, Isaac. Like, what are your plans for the winnings, if any?
Well, we didn't plan for me winning this much money, so the plans were just like, we're going to use the money to live, and now we're getting past living territory to like, we can do stuff territory, and we'll have to discuss it, my girlfriend and I.
Very hard to spend 200K at Trader Joe's. Like, you're going to have to...
We'll do it. We'll do it. Give us time.
Those pretzels are so good. Do you have bigger plans? Like, what would that be? Is it a trip? Is it dead? Is it a house?
We live in California. It's never going to be a house. I would have to win 75 times for us to be able to maybe buy a house in Burbank. But yeah, I mean, a trip would be nice. Maybe we'll do a trip. I don't know. We'll go to Sweden because my girlfriend's from Sweden.
I'm not trying to tell you what to do with your... This is not part of the game. Isaac. You don't have to please me. You do whatever you like
What is
with the
invested,
money.
Ken?
What is invested? Very smart, but boring for an interview. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, something a little more,
New car? Who knows?
Give it some thought tonight. Yeah. Well, congratulations, and we'll see how long you can go. Game 9 coming up next week.
You know I'm going to say it, Michael.
Oh, you're talking about second chance contenders. It's your favorite It's your favorite. We
I mean-
really need to get a sponsor for you
We really
talking
do.
about second chance contenders.
Yeah.
About these 7,500 second chance contenders you have
It's gonna be a
already
long
for the next
pod,
second chance
a long
tournament.
Pod. But Mike Ferguson, 16 correct, a $6,000 daily double, a $17,000 score after double jeopardy,
Yep.
correct and final. Gotta say, he's got to be in the conversation. Well, moving on to this week's host chat, an audience member asked Ken, when do you review game material?
I tend to look at the clues the night before. Alex would come in bright and early in the morning. He'd get here at 6 and go through all the games. I wish I had that work ethic. I looked at these games last night, and if I do it here on the lot, we have a library where the writers work, fully equipped reference library just for research and fact-checking stuff. And if I stay there where there's no distractions, if I put my phone away, I can usually get through 5 or 6 games in an hour and a half, because I just want to make sure I can pronounce everything. Alex had a little notation he would do of like how he wanted to say the clues, which words to emphasize. There's kind of a musicality to it, and I got some of his pages and I kind of learned his system. So I just want to make sure it's as easy as possible on the contestants, and I have a lot of power to make the clues easier to hear.
Yeah, Ken says, he's not a morning person. He's not. Alex used to be here 6:30 in the morning to review the games. Ken's a night owl. He wants to do it the night before.
Yeah, and I gotta say, it is. I'm reading through a lot of the pop culture Jeopardy material
Yes.
right now. It is one of the. It's a glorious part of the job, but it is also exhausting. At a certain point, all clues start to blend into
words
each other.
start to run
but
into each
it is
other,
I really admire how much work he puts into that material, and we really see that coming across on the television program every day.
Yeah, 8 to 12 seconds in each of those clues, but the way the writers craft them, every single word is chosen for a
Absolutely.
reason and therefore needs to be delivered in a certain way for a reason, and Ken does it so well. Michael, I might shed a tear. This brings us to the end of today's show and your last pod appearance until next season. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Buzzy and
What,
I
you
will...
can't shed a tear?
I
Is what-
can't, no, I can't do it without you.
Okay.
A summer break without you.
I love it.
Buzzy and I will be back on Monday for one last pod this season to discuss another exciting week of games before our short hiatus. We will see you all then.
Farewell.
Hey, thanks for watching. Click on the subscribe button and don't miss a moment.